So this is a Cal Poly hip flow, which is a dynamic warm-up and stretch that you can do before pretty much any workout. We're going to use a similar flow to what Cal Poly uses for their athletes. Okay, so what you're going to notice is that I'm barefoot, and I highly recommend that if you can do this and it's not going to go against your gym rules, go barefoot. It's going to help to turn on those intrinsic fibers in your feet and help to get your body better engaged for your workout. Now, the first exercise is going to be a hip circle. Now, as I go through each exercise, I want you to just take your time, make sure that you do the movements well, slowly, and as you go through and you get better with the movements, it should take about 7 to 10 minutes tops. All right? So the first movement is a hip circle. You're going to make giant circles with your hips and do your best to keep expanding on that circle. You're doing 3 reps in each direction, feeling the edges, making sure that you don't have any kinks there, and if you do, spend a little bit more time on those edges to work that out before you start training. So that's 3 in each direction. Then we move into a tall reach, really get some length in your body, staying up on your toes. And then from there, we're gonna go into a plank position. And then from here, we're gonna do a downward dog. I'm pressing my heels into the ground and I'm opening up my shoulders and my back. And then I go down into a cobra, and I'm gonna do 3 of these. So this is 2, press up, 1 more, press up. Now from here, I'm kicking my left leg back, bring it next to the outside of my hand, and then from here, I'm gonna take that left hand and press out on the knee, on that left knee, prying that hip open, and I'm going to do that 6 times. Now notice as I do that, the ball of the foot stays driven and rooted into the ground, and that's going to help to isolate your hip. So after you get 6 reps there, you're going to take your left forearm, you're going to drop it down towards the ground, and you're going to reach up towards the sky. 6 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now from here, I'm bringing my upper body up, and I'm going to move into a Cossack squat, getting some depth here, reaching forward. You notice this toe is pointed straight up, and then I'm going to rotate back to the front, reaching into a sun salutation and reaching off to the side to stretch the hip flexors, and then back into the Cossack. We're doing 6 reps. So this is 2, 3, each time try to get a little bit more depth and control. 4, 5, 6. Now from here, I'm going to drop down, put my right hand down, the left hand goes on the outside of the left knee. Block that left knee as you rotate your right hip down towards the ground 6 times. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Left hand goes down, left foot goes back. Back into the downward dog 3 times, into the cobra, pike up. Now as I go through this, notice how I'm hinging through my hips, lifting my tailbone high, and then back down. Got to work that hinge. Now I'm going to kick my right foot back, bring it next to my right hand. That right hand is going to go in the inside of that right knee. I'm going to pry that hip open, keeping the ball of the foot pressed down into the ground for 6. I have 1 more. Then I'm going to lower that forearm down towards the ground, reach up towards the sky 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Upper body comes up. I'm going to sit back into that Cossack squat, nice and deep. Reach up off to the side, stretching that hip flexor, then back into that Cossack for 6. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to bring my upper body down, both hands down. I'm going to take that right hand and put it on the outside of my right knee. I'm going to rotate that left hip down, and I'm blocking that right knee with my right hand. Doing that 6 times. 2 more. Good. Now, hand goes down, foot goes back. All right, now from here, let's get into that downward dog, work that hinge, cobra, press up, hinge. Now from here, you're gonna flip over into a supine bridge, supported with one arm. Place your feet and your knees hip distance apart, reach off to the side. Now as you do this, you notice that my butt is down by my heels. And when I'm gonna drive my hips up, I'm gonna be opening up the shoulder, supporting myself there, getting through full hip extension 6 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're gonna turn to the other side. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back around. Spread those feet. Walk your hands back. Now push back into those hips 3 times. Really get deep into the adductors and the hamstrings. After you get 3, you're gonna do some thoracic rotations, reaching the arms up alternately, 3, 6 times each. One more. Okay, now from there, I want you to push back in your hips just 3 more times. Just really get a little bit deeper now. All right, that feels good. Now walk your hands forward a little bit. Sweep your left leg through so that you end up into a 90-90 position. So I have 90 degrees in that front leg, 90 degrees in the back leg. We're gonna open up here, starting with the reach to the left side, taking 2 deep breaths in, inhale and exhale. I'm using that breath to coax more range of motion out of my body. Now you're gonna rotate to the front. I want you to take your pelvis and tip it forward so that your tailbone is pointed straight up and your belly button is flashing towards the middle of your shin. You're gonna lean forward, arms out to the side. 2 deep breaths in, inhale and exhale. And then we're gonna rotate to the opposite side, to the right side. I'm externally rotating my arms to get a little bit more of a deep fascial stretch here, lifting my rib cage up and away, tall through the head. And now from here, I'm gonna lift my right knee as high as I can. Then I'm gonna lift the left knee. So I'm in a bear sit, tall, and I'm just gonna simply turn. And now I'm doing the other side, 90-90. I'm gonna reach off to the right, take 2 breaths in. Now come to the front, tip that pelvis forward, lift that tailbone high, bring your belly button as far forward as you can over your shin, breathe for 2, then rotate to the left, externally rotate, be tall, lift that rib cage up and away, be tall through the crown of your head, hold for 2 breaths, and then from there, we're gonna go back into a bear sit. So I'm bringing that top leg up, arms should go behind me, my feet and knees are hip distance apart. I'm starting with my butt down by my heels, and then from here, I'm gonna press my hips up and open up my shoulders, get a nice stretch there. And at the same time, I'm activating my glutes. And you do this for 6 reps, 4, 5, and 6. We're gonna turn back over. From here, in that plank position, walk 1 foot up next to your hands, each side, and get into a deep squat as if you have 400 pounds on your back. Now from here, I want you to take your elbow, let's start with the right elbow, drive that right knee outward 6 times. Pry that hip open, keep your feet rooted into the ground, corkscrew tight. 6 reps, and then 6 reps on the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm gonna take both elbows, drive both knees outward, prying those hips open, and I'm gonna do circles around my feet. These are ankle circles. I'm doing 3 in each direction. Again, feeling around the edges, trying to open up anything, feel for anything that might get in the way for your training. All right, so 3 reps. Shake those legs out. We're almost done. So now I want you to come down and tuck your toes underneath your feet. Now if you notice there, they're tucked under, and I'm sitting back on my heels. That's gonna stretch your toe flexors. And at the same time, we're gonna do some shoulder mobility. So from here, we're gonna do controlled articular rotations, 3 reps going forward for your scapula. So we do 3. And make sure that you irradiate by contracting your abdominals, keeping everything else still as you rotate just the scapula. So you're doing that 3 times. And from here, again, irradiate through your abdominals, stabilize, and we're gonna do glenohumeral rotations, staying stable, 3 reps, back. And then reverse that direction. Good, and then the other side, 3 back. Reverse. All right, and you're gonna wanna kick those feet out. They might cramp up a little bit, but get the blood back in there. And now I'm gonna flip the feet so that the top of the feet are on the ground. And I'm just gonna sit back on those heels, get a nice stretch in the front. Now while we're in this position, we're gonna just get those wrists loosened up. So let's do 3 rotations in each direction, keeping everything else still. Really work on trying to isolate from the wrists. And you're gonna do that by staying tight in your core. And from there, let's stretch out here. Just pull those fingers back just gently and breathe in and out for 2 breaths. Do that for each side, 2 breaths. And then turn those fingers pointed down, 2 breaths. And 2 breaths. That's the Cal Poly hip flow, and it's going to be the dynamic warm-up that you can do anytime for any workout, and your body's going to be ready to go.